Hey everyone, so just thought I'd do a little vlog in the backyard. Just thought I'd take you for a walk in the backyard and show you some backyard projects I have to get done. I would like to get them done before spring really sets in, like where stuff starts growing, while the ground is still semi-soft right now. So let's take a walk in the backyard and see what projects I got to get done this year. Okay, so the first project, this is our little deck. It's alongside the garage here, and underneath all this snow is a lot of fall leaves and bird stuff, like bird feeder type stuff. So I got to get this all cleaned up as soon as this snow melts, and I'll come out here and clean all this up. And what I usually do with the fall leaves is just take the blower, blow it out to the grass, and then when I'm ready to cut grass, I just mow it down, chop it up. So yeah, this is one project I got to get done. This area right here used to be part of a deck right here, and we tore it off. But I'd like to do something with this little corner here. But we'll see what I can get done with that. I have to get a little creative. Yeah, you can see I never took in some of my feeders from last year. It just left it a mess. So I got to take care of that this year pretty soon. So let's take a walk to the backyard. Lots of deer scat back here. I actually just had Gypsy out back here. And we haven't been out lately because it's been muddy, and with the wet snow and then the cold, it freezes and it gets hard. So I actually just took her back in the house. She had fun out here. She took a stick and, pranced around with it. But it was nice to just let her get back here and get some exercise in. And it was actually nice for me because I need the fresh air. Glenn very much needs the fresh air, but the fresh air is so nice right now. I don't even know what the temperature is, but it's beautiful right now. It's a little breezy, but not too bad. So let's tackle some projects here. Well, not tackle them, but let me show you. This was the kiddie pool garden. I never cleaned it up at the end of the season, so I got to pull all this stuff out. And I am going to attempt to reuse the dirt. And I think this year, for the 3 kiddie pool garden, or the 3 kiddie pools, I'm just going to use it for flowers. I think that's what I'm going to do. So one of my projects is to clean all this out of here and get it ready for garden time. And no, I haven't started any seeds. It all comes down to funds, So we'll do the best we can and see what happens. I don't know, I don't know how big or how small our garden will be this year. But yeah, it's just going to depend on funds and if I can dig up some dirt, because definitely can't afford to buy a bunch of dirt. Don't want to do that. So yeah, project number 2. So now this is a metal pole that was here when we moved here. As you can see, I tie wrap branches to it for the birds to land on, because I have hooks up here to hang bird feeders. But what I'd like to do, this pole and the pole over there, it's about 2.5 inches in diameter. So I need to find somehow a DIY project to put a baffle on here so I can hang bird feeders without the squirrels getting to them. I feed the squirrels on the ground as much as I can, but if the squirrels start eating all my food and the bird feeders, then that gets expensive. And so I need a DIY project to put a baffle on here and the one over there. But I'll show you that one. That's where I put the big branch across to make it a bird feeder station. So here's another project, DIY. And here the end of our fence line. This is where our sunflowers were last year. And yeah, you can see I never pulled them out, so got to clean this all up also. And this is where I want to get it done before stuff starts growing, is clean out all the weeds along the fence line here. Oh, I'm tilting the phone. Just clean up all this stuff along the fence line. Up to the point, midpoint, I guess, it's where big bushes and trees start growing. And so I want to at least get all this cleaned up. And then dig up some dirt, just kind of like I did with the sunflowers. I just like dug up a little bit of dirt, threw the seeds in there, and they grew. So I don't want to overthink it. I don't want to get fancy. I just want to plant some flowers without spending a lot of money. So yeah, this is going to be gardening on a budget. So yeah, all this on the fence line. I want to pull these weeds out, dig up some dirt here, and throw some seeds in there for flowers. So my goal is to line up this whole fence line with flowers. You know, so yeah, that's my thought anyway. I may be thinking too much here. So anyway, that's another project. And I want to start pulling the weeds out while the ground is still soft and they're easy to pull out. And then I'll just throw them on the fire pit and burn them. So there's another project. And let's walk all the way back to the backyard. Oh, first let's go to the other metal pole. So I showed you the one over here. Now let's go over here. There is so much deer scat in the backyard, it's unreal. Okay, so here's the other metal pole. And if you remember last year, if you're new, this big branch here, I tie wrapped it up there and put some hooks up there so I could hang bird feeders. Like you see that empty suet feeder. So I made it a bird feeding station. But on the same thing as the other one, I need some type of DIY baffle to put around this, because the squirrels and the raccoons at night just come and tear up my feeders and eat everything. So up there, this metal bar, I don't know how good you can see it, but it doesn't move. So I have to figure out, either I do a DIY where I split some PVC or something to put on over here, or I figure out how to take out this bar and then I'm able to slide something down. So I'm gonna have to figure that one out. So yeah, I'd like to keep this as a bird feeding station, because we don't want to put any poles or anything in the middle of the yard, because we want to leave that more open for a gypsy to run around. Where I had the 4x4, I'll show you that. Let's go over there. Oh yeah, not done over here. So this metal pole to that metal pole, I would like to hang I guess a clothes drying line, a line from here to there, to maybe dry clothes outside this year. We haven't had a dryer for several years now. I don't know how many years, but I just hang the clothes inside to dry. But I thought maybe to hang a line outside and dry the clothes outside. So that's another thing I want to do. All right, so sounds like I'm creating a lot of projects for myself, but honestly, these are things I want to do. And if we don't have a lot of money to go fishing or camping a lot of times, then this will keep me busy through the summer. And the goal is to get up early and work on these projects. That way by midday I'm done and I can enjoy the rest of the day and just bird watch. All right, so you see this tray here. there's a hole there. That's where a 4x4 was, my feeder for the 4x4 was. And that's where I originally started doing the bird cam videos. But we pulled it out last summer because when Gypsy was running around, she kept getting wrapped around this pole. So we pulled it out, or I pulled it out. No, we did. Glenn helped me. He got on his scooter over here and he kept pushing the pole back and forth, and I pulled it up, and yeah, it was about 2 feet deep. So that's another project. What we want to do is actually get a metal pole to put here. That way we can have Gypsy tied up here, but her leash will actually just go, not, instead of wrapping around, it'll just go around without getting tangled up, if you know what I mean. I know what I'm trying to say, I just can't get the words out, but yeah. So we actually want to spend much more time out here in the backyard. I'd like to actually set up a little picnic area for us because we want to have Gypsy out here a lot more. It'd be nice just to have an area to sit and, you know, do whatever, just hang out, be outdoors. So going back on this fence line where I said I wanted to do it halfway through, well, these tall weeds here is where they start, tall bushes and weeds, and all through the rest of the line there are tall bushes and weeds, and trees have started growing back there. And we're kind of trying to make like a tree fence line here by letting some weed trees grow. We would like a tree fence line at least. So, but it's a lot of, it's a big list to work on. But I have faith I can do it. But yeah, I still would like to pull out a lot of these weeds. But some I like to leave for the insects. You know, they grow into thistle and things like that, and the insects need that kind of stuff. So, and this is all just natural grown milkweed. So a lot of the butterflies like to get over here. But now this fence is busted. This is the neighbor's fence. They had this up, but it's leaning towards that, and you can see at the bottom, I don't know if you can see, but at the bottom of these two poles, they're cracked and they're leaning over. Now I don't know if that was deer, because we have had a ton of deer jumping the fence here. So yeah, lots of projects, just like cleaning up the backyard. It's a big backyard and needs a lot of maintenance. And this is the next project. Okay, so speaking of weed trees, all these trees are on our side of the fence. They just have grown from weeds. And this big tree right here, this bigger tree, is a weed tree, believe it or not. So it's on our side of the fence. So what I want to do, because you can see this area right here, all the branches are really low. So when I cut grass, I end up not cutting this part of the grass because it's so low and stuff. So I want to come out here with my handsaw and cut down all these branches, kind of like I cleaned up the trees over here, that tree and the pine tree, how I cleaned them up and sawed off branches. I want to do that to this area over here as well. So yeah, another big project, and just clean up the area here. So that's another project. And this is the end of our yard here. Coming back here, a lot of thistle grows back here. So we usually get butterflies and stuff, bumblebees and all that good stuff. But I do want to kind of clean it up. You can see a trail here. This is where the deer come through. The end of our lot here. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, there's a red ribbon right there. There's a metal pole right over here, that's the end of our lot. So this is one neighbor's yard, and this is another neighbor's yard, and our lot comes through here. And those trees, I'll show you the trees I always take video and pictures of when it snows. All these evergreens here, these are on the other side of our lot. So these are the neighbor to the west, these are his trees. But so this corner is the end of our lot here. This line on this side of the evergreens is the end of our lot. Our entire lot, including to the front yard, to the street, is half acre. And this is something we never dreamed we would have, honestly. Before we bought this house, we lived in a side-by-side duplex with a slumlord. Yeah, so we've been here for, I think, 11 years? 12? I don't know. But we never in our wildest dreams thought we'd have this much property. And we got it for a good price. So this is the evergreen I gave a haircut to a couple years ago. I don't know if it was last summer or the summer before, but you can see where I chopped the, if I got closer you could see. But you can see this branch is hanging down on the ground, and all that heavy snow we got made a lot of this, it's cracked up there on the stump. It's cracked, so I'm gonna have to get that out of there. And there's some more over here, so I'm gonna have to clean the evergreen tree out again. So yeah, that's more cutting down. So, and this area over here, we were just over here, the end of our lot over here, that corner. This when we moved here, this cage was here. This is where the previous owner put all her grass clippings and things like that, and we just left it there. I never did anything with it, but I would like to take it out, so I'm gonna have to try to work on that. But you see these big trees, these two big trees, those are weed trees. They weren't here when we moved here. Just this caged area was, these trees weren't here, and they just grew from weeds, and now they're that big. But we like it. So it's a cheap way to get trees in your yard. But I want to take that out and clean this area up, and maybe plant some pink cone flowers and things like that, black-eyed Susans. I would love all that stuff in our yard. So lots of projects. So this is the very end of our backyard, or almost the very end. The wood pile over here is the neighbor's yard over there. This big tree is his, and that big tree is that neighbor's. But when we get high winds, we always get their branches and their branches in our yard, as well as all their leaves. So as you see, we don't have any trees in the middle of the yard, but we always end up with branches and leaves to clean up. So, but it's a beautiful area. This is all neighbors, like 3 houses down, go way back there. So you can see one neighbor directly next to us, another neighbor, and another neighbor back there. So lots of projects to do. So yeah, this was a little longer than I anticipated. So yeah, I'll cut it off here. So I hope you enjoyed that little walk through the backyard.